We are ready to go to Bank Escargot. What are you feeling about this match? Because this isn't a map we see too often here in Hyper Series.
Personally, I think that this works to Calgary's favor. Calgary is, frankly, a rather static team. They do the same thing every round, every single time. They do it well, frankly, but they do the same thing. They are very strategic in what they do, rather tactical in what they do. So I think that this works to their favor, at least in my opinion. I don't know. I don't think they play this map very often, however, but I would at least assume that they have something ready on this map. I don't know if Boston has ever played this map, at least not in this league. Um, Calgary right now sits on top of the West. Boston is sort of duking it out, trying to fight their way into the play-in or into the playoffs at this point. So, I mean, I think that this kind of works to Calgary's favor, and I think that, as the predictions say, I'm gonna think Calgary's gonna end up taking this home. I don't know the score. I think this is gonna be a fairly close game, but I think Calgary's gonna take it. What do you think?
I think Calgary is going to take it. Everyone's... I don't mean to be, cynical, but I'm practical when it comes to who's beating who, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would always just make the safe bet because I'm trying to make money and not lose it, no matter how little I make. But if I was a betting man, I'm betting my money on Calgary. Ragnar's a good friend. I love how he's turned the franchise around, but, he's... I love the confidence too that his name in the Discord right now is Jarl Ragnar Calgary Slayer. Love the confidence, but that's a tall order. That is a very, very tall order to slay this juggernaut of a team in Hyper Series Season 3. I was gonna mention something. I had a punchline ready. Now I'm pretty mad at myself that I forgot it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll come back to you. I do want to ask your opinion as we get ready to enter this first round of action. I want to ask your opinion of these bands, particularly the Fenrir band.
The Fenrir band. I don't think it's obviously that's Calgary's ban. I don't think they've banned Fenrir because they don't want to play against him. I think they've banned Fenrir because they don't know how to use him. If that makes any sense. They would rather have the whole plethora of regular defenders and just get rid of him than, maybe clear a piece that they know how to use off the board. Or actually I guess I want to call it a neutral ban. It doesn't really, I don't think Boston has any strats ready for Fenrir, and I doubt Calgary does either, so it's really a no harm, no foul kind of ban.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think that's probably true for both teams, and that it's just something to get on the board or something to take off the board, I suppose. I'm a bit surprised, however, by this site selection and also by this hold. I don't know about you, but it just seems a bit unusual for teams to be going to tellers and archives first.
Yeah, this is bold. This is bold coming out from Boston. I've never seen a team willingly go archives first for defending on bank. Never seen it ever. Not even in casual. So I guess they have to be pretty confident in the strat they have. Obviously, Boston's been confident coming into this matchup, and they keep talking about scrims, like, oh, we've beaten Calgary in a scrim. And I understand that, but a scrim and a real competitive match are very different. I always take scrims with a grain of salt. It's like when you're watching racing, and a slow car is in the top 3 in practice, and it's like, yeah, it's practice. It doesn't really mean anything, because when there's actually things on the line, what separates the strong teams from the average and the weak is that they can put it all together. So in Calgary, I think that may be the situation.
So you're comparing Boston to a slow car in practice?
Yes.
All right.
They can, sure, they'll score some points sometimes, and they could get an occasional, hold on, we're going to get into the gunfight here. Nornik takes out Williams, refrag immediately from Cayman Hockey as they continue to clear upstairs in the conference room and CEO office. They've stranded Cayman. They've stranded the Mozzie of Ragnar. He's all alone upstairs. There's going to be a pincer maneuver coming in. Ragnar clears out Cayman just in time, but ooh, I think that was that a wall bang? No, he did shoot the hole and then straight through another wall. I thought it was a double wall bang. It wasn't. 3-3, and we're only a minute and a half in. It seems as soon as Calgary went in, it was kills galore.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Yeah, that's an accurate description of how this has unfolded so far, but I think for right now, I mean, Calgary's game plan has probably just been upended. Sure, they still have Phils with the can opener, but he's already used one, and they do not have Cayman, who, from my understanding, is the de facto IGL, as well as their primary hard breach available. So, not having that on hand, not having those Selmas and not having that player in the actual round, although sure, he's still able to contribute and still able to help coordinate, that's obviously going to hurt them here. They are setting up vertical, but they need to get moving here. They have 40 seconds left. They have vertical, they have lobby, they have, they're putting themselves in a good position here, but they need to get moving and soon. This seems to be a rather common trait here, actually, of Calgary offense is actually a double kill from Phils here onto Jaeger there. That's just Waywee. I'm going to probably butcher these names. I'm sorry. And Louds. Jimmer trying to lay down some cover fire, possibly. 15 seconds left, just about, as Louds is actually adjacent over and open, covering this Teller side, ready to jump up, maybe to get a flank down for some sort of last-second play now. Now trying to push in. Phil's drops, covered by Louds. 2v2, 1v2 now, as RJ takes down one, and Louds with a quick double kill to close out the round here for Boston.
Wow, yeah, that's... So we mentioned it, if you're going to come to that site first, you better have a plan. They had a plan, Escargo. They had a plan. And it played out pretty well. That Ragnar stall upstairs is beautifully played. He managed to take 2 people with him. So that they definitely got their value on that hold. And then from there, it seems after they lost those 2 picks early, it was all just on the back foot. And they find themselves on the back foot, down 0-1.
Yeah, I think the key there was just the roam. It just wore down Calgary. And not bad from Calgary, but as I say every time I watch a game from Calgary, the keys to success for them is that they are a very support-oriented team. I've seen them on Clubhouse run lineups with four targets. What they need is that they need their fraggers, which is traditionally, Willems in particular, a good contribution from Phils or Triex would really, or from Jimmer really,
and Jimmer, of course,
would help. I would say Jimmer and Willems in particular, they need to get a good performance out of them. And then, Cayman, Triex, Phils can chip in as sort of the supporting cast. But they need to be really having that vanguard of Jimmer and of Willems functioning, winning gunfights, getting frags, and really just leading the attack for them. That's what they're going to need to do in order to succeed.
We're going to see Boston here go to a much more classical site. They're going upstairs in the CEO. Where else are you going to go here on Bank? Obviously the basement, but they're going to go here first. So obviously they've cleared the tertiary site first. That gives them a bit of a kind of a round in hand. They're going to be able to pull out basement, and it's going to be a lot easier theoretically to pull out a 3-0 lead because you're kind of going reverse order of site strength.
I'm a bit intrigued by this very similar lineup here, actually, from Boston. They still have the castle, they have the mute, they have an Oryx roaming around, they have that Jaeger, the quintessential operator there. It's just very similar to what we saw last time, at least in terms of lineup, as there goes the Jaeger. Actually, no, that's going to be Jimmer. The Iana's out of the round now. And Nordic just holds his ground, posts up there in lobby, gets the frag, and gets actually a man advantage now. 2-man advantage here for Boston. That'll be Cayman out of the round, courtesy of Louds. The Oryx continuing to be quite an issue here, it seems, for the attacking team for Calgary to deal with. That'll be a Nordic gunned down and actually finished out there, actually, by Phils. Swinging here, Louds trying to fight off. That's Willems pushing into stock and does take him down. A headshot from the Ash, trying to get another one here possibly. And Nordic is DBNO right now, as it's basically a 3v3 between these two teams. About half the round remains, waiting there as Phil's finishing off in Nordic. RJ looking to get another frag, I think, and Nordic rotated towards that, and he does get one actually onto Triex. Stops the gridlock right there. About a minute left in the round. Willems realizes it, trying to now press out RJ, but I think that was a Nordic just crawling into elevator to try and provide RJ an opportunity to get a refrag. Phil's a bit wise, able to get that kill and able to just get rid of that issue. Really prevent himself from getting gunned down there. It'll be just him and Phil's here. As Ragnar's going to take a bit of damage now, having to dance around in that janitor side. Going to rotate back onto CO here. Actually, no, to conference area. That'll be Phil's trying to provide some cover here. As the two remaining players from Calgary very banged up at this point. That'll be RJ setting up an angle here, trying to potentially press out. That'll be Williams getting the frag now to blame 2v2 situation, but 30 seconds left and no diffuser, mind you. They need to get the diffuser now. Phil's is down. That'll be almost a double kill for RJ. Williams, the last one left here, trying to stay alive, trying to maybe pick this round back up, bring his team back to 1-1 here. Ragnar lying in wait, waiting for him to push through, waiting to get that last frag, and to put this round away for Boston.
10 seconds
Gets the
left.
M5 out, Willems swinging, trying to find Ragnar, does spot him, headshot, 3K for Willems. RJ still lying in wait, and Willems actually has the diffuser, pardon me. RJ scrambling now, trying to find him, does let him get that diffuser down, essentially a 1v1 now post-plant, however. Willems finds him, and it'll be almost a 4K double kill for RJ. Does finish off Bills here. Now a bit of a standoff between the two of them, one in conference, one in CO. Willems waiting for the rotate. I think RJ reading that, trying to play against it. Willems swings, the ace there. For Willems, a 4K from the Ash. A great performance for Calgary, exactly what they needed to get back to 1-1.
Wow, that was just a bit of a collapse from Boston in the closing stages there. Obviously they didn't have the intel on site to know that plant was going down, but you know, you have to assume if no one's rushing you like that, where else is the Ash going to be? You know, excellent effort from RJ or Ywi near the elevator shaft, but you know, at the end those kills didn't mean anything because he still lost the round, and he lost the gunfight to Williams was within one shot, and he wasn't able to close it out. And at the end of the round, it's tied up at 1-1. After that was basically a Boston round for the taking. You know, and against a team like Calgary, if you're the underdog coming in, you can't make mistakes like that if you're looking to win the game. It's a mistake like that that's going to come back to bite you, especially against heavyweights like Calgary.
I mean, just made some mistakes late in the round. Ended up letting Calgary back in, which is not what you want to do against Calgary. You don't want to let them back in the round because they will punish you for that, and so ultimately ended up taking the L in that round. But not that big of a loss. I mean, it's still really early in the game. Just means that they're now back to square one, pretty much, just tied 1-1.
10 seconds remaining.
Question for you here, Zach. So Ragnar swapped here. He swapped from the Mute to the Goyo. What kind of difference do you think that makes? And maybe, do you have any thoughts why he might have done that?
The Mute to the Go. I mean, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. I mean, Goyo's been a hot topic today. The last casting duel criticized Vancouver's use of him. They didn't see much utility or play. I don't think his ability came into effect much. Everyone's just kind of been using him as Phil gets the opening frag. He takes out Nornik as he's just right inside of open area. And there is no hatch presence upstairs, so Phil, he now has free reign of down below. But yeah, it's been a common topic. It's like, are we playing Goyo for his supposedly very strong ability? I mean, it is. But are you using it correctly? Or are you playing Goyo because he's got a 1.5 on the vector? And if you die, what are you going to do with, what's the point of bringing the Goyo? Obviously, we'll see if Boston can utilize him more. I don't know if getting rid of drone, losing drone denial is the play right now, especially against Calgary. The higher level you go, the more the team's drone, and the entire team's on their drones right now. I think losing Mute is a very big mistake.
Yeah, I would have to absolutely agree with everything that you're saying there. I do wonder if that's trying to get some synergy between that and the castle, trying to maybe waste some utility, waste some time from Calgary, you know, slow down their attack even further here. But, I mean, not having a Nornik there, one of the key fraggers really for Boston, is definitely doing favors here. Actually, Williams taking a tad bit of damage and go over on that top square side, actually trying to push from stock towards conference, very low now. At this point, he's pretty much one shot, one kill. RJ trying to sort of spar with him there, it seems. Lying in wait at this point is that'll be Triax on the hatch, actually. Not the hatch, pardon me, the window. Trying to maybe get some pressure on the objective. And actually, Jaeger there looking to get something to happen. 3x falls, however, picked right off the window courtesy of Louds, a headshot from the Oryx to bring it back to even here. And now Jimmer's actually down. Losing that sledge might not, would certainly say the least, would not be beneficial for Calgary at this point, as Ragnar is sort of holding down the line here on this conference side, trying to pick off one of those players from Calgary over on that dock side. Might be Jimmer rotating around here. And I think Phil's looking to accompany him, as that'll be Williams slowly pushing forward. 30 seconds left, however. They need to get on site as soon as possible. They still have Diffuser. They still have a man, so he's still even here. Very strange to be even this late in the round, and now that'll be actually the remaining anchors for Boston getting ready for this last mess. 3v4 now. That'll be actually Jaeger getting the frag traded out now. 3v3, 2v3. Williams gets a double kill, looking for the plant. Came in a shutdown up to just RJ to survive these last few seconds. And as all heck breaks loose in the final moments of this round, ultimately just no time there for Calgary to get the diffuser and put it back down, get the plant that they needed to keep the round alive.
No, see, now we just saw the opposite. We saw a bit of a collapse from Calgary in the closing stages in that round, especially having to revive someone with 40 seconds to go. That kind of dooms your round from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, Calgary just ultimately, I think they left their push and their execute for too late in the round, and so they ended up having to rush. And what normally happens with basically any team when you rush is that you make mistakes, and I think that's what we saw, is that they started getting a bit sloppy, and Boston was just in the right spot in the right time. They were able to get the frags, and so now we're going to see actually another lead for Boston here as they'll return to Tellers and Archives.
So Teller's Archives, they're treating basement as their tertiary, I suppose. They're going to go into Teller's Arc. I don't know about this one. I think, obviously, whenever you attack another Orthodox site, it's always, sometimes it throws you off. It's that don't be scared of the second best swordsman. If you're the best, be scared of the worst. If a team's going to throw something unorthodox at you, obviously adapting is part of it. But in a game like Siege,
5 seconds left before
where
insertion.
sight matters so much, coming up against one you just have no idea how to attack, even though it should favor you, is an advantage of it in and of itself. So I think my prediction is Calgary adapts better this time. We're already going to see that. They've foregone the ace because there's not much use for an ace attacking Teller's Archive, especially when Boston's left the primary wall open as part of their strat, and instead they're refocusing with a buck, a sledge, and an ash to take advantage of the entirely soft floor above both sides.
Yeah, I think the key here for Calgary, if they want to pick this round up and get a win on this primary site for Boston, the key is really going to be, can they get vertical, and how much does it cost them? Because if they can get it quickly, and if they can minimize their losses in terms of drones, in terms of utility, in terms of manpower, that will put them in an ideal situation to succeed for the rest of this round. For Boston, on the flip side, I think what they need to do is really punish Calgary's efforts to get vertical control. We're going to probably expect some work there from Ragnar above. Same thing that he did last round. Just same hold, actually. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they say. And so if he can get a frag or two and also burn some drones from Calgary, particularly the intel side, I think, would be very important. There's actually a frag already going out there. That'll be a Nordic, again picked off here by Williams. The Ash getting this frag, and I think Ragnar's now up in the hot seat here, probably going to be dealing with some pressure courtesy of Calgary pretty soon. Lying in wait in conference here. I think realizing now that Calgary's picking apart this top floor. They don't realize it, and there's going to be 3x picked off easily there. Actually, EDD'd a bit of revenge from the grave from a Nordic, but pretty big assist there, courtesy of Ragnar. That's got to be a bit embarrassing, not even knowing that Mozzie of Ragnar is sitting there in conference waiting to pick you up. About 50 seconds left now, 3v4 situation. A Nitro goes out, traded out actually by Jimmer getting the headshot there onto Blame Jaeger, but a Nitro went out, unfortunately, takes down Phil's, came and spotted and taken out courtesy of Ragnar, just lying in wait and making a pretty sizable impact on the round here. Jimmer and Williams, the last two left for Calgary. For Boston, it's RJ and Louds, as Williams gets a headshot there, actually onto Ragnar, just takes him out of the round finally. But low time here, 30 seconds left. They need to be making a push. They still do not have the diffuser, unfortunately. I think it was downed with Cayman. 3K from Williams. He's again popping off here, up to just Louds to clutch up the round once more, looking for a double kill. Shut down. 4K from Williams, and another round here for Calgary.
Yeah, big round for Williams again. He has put Calgary's kill total on his back. He's at 9. Second closest Phil with 5. Jimmer's down at the bottom with 1. We've seen him take some time to get going. Let's see if that's the case here. Wow, I think while Calgary did win that round, I think it was a complete failure on their part to not clear Ragnar. Allowing Ragnar to collect 2 people again, same as last time, while he's alone up there, that's a fumble in my book.
I would agree. I mean, a win's a win, but definitely kind of a blunder there in not clearing Ragnar, particularly because of the fact that he sat in the exact same spot that he did the first round. They just did not clear it, which is kind of uncharacteristic of Calgary for them to not, drone that out and really cross their T's, dot their I's, check everything, every last nook and cranny. So kind of just uncharacteristic of them. I am curious to see how both how Boston holds this basement site and how Calgary responds and adapts to this hold.
Yeah, it's looking pretty vanilla for Boston. They've got the classic Mira. They didn't bring smoke, however. Don't know if that's the play, to be honest with you. There's no plant deny except for the Goyo canisters, which, in all fairness, they're going to put 3 of them, but I don't know, they're just not as reliable as Smokes or Echo or Maestro. One of, I always like to have at least one when you're defending CCTV on the basement, but I guess they're going to rely on Wiley or RJ as the Mira to do the heavy lifting defending the plant. But I don't think Calgary's a bunch of golds. They're going to smoke plant in the corner like normal. Their attack is going to be much more complex and sophisticated than that. So maybe they don't need the smoke.
I agree with you. I think that the smoke, or a Tachanka possibly, is sort of an integral part of this site. However, I think part of the reason why they're not picking it is because of, with the new season, Smoke losing his shield, pretty key part of his utility, pretty key part of how he's played, is that's going to be that'll be in Nornik. Again, it feels like every round he is the first pick here for Boston, courtesy of Calgary. That'll be Jaeger above as the Mozzie. Traded out, actually. Williams gets the headshot there, but he did pick off Phil's. He did get that kill there onto the Capitao. Remove some smoke, so that might potentially knock the smoke plant option off the board here, unfortunately, for Calgary. They still, however, have a good amount of utility. They still have the man advantage here. They have vertical. They're making good pace. They're doing what they need to do. I think the big question is next, how do they deal with Blue, and how do they get themselves towards the site, towards their execute?
I mean, I think, I don't know, it's in Calgary's favor, obviously. I'm just having some gripes I'm still having gripes about Boston's operator lineup. I don't know, they've brought Mozzie a lot, but everyone's just picking him for the P10 with the 1.5, and I feel like especially on basement, could have been utilized much better, especially with Blame Jaeger falling early on. I think they're going to regret not bringing some more area denial, except for the Goyo, but only time will tell as we have a minute left on the clock. Calgary's attack is falling into place as they get everything ready. X-Cairo is going off on the hatches. This is the siege equivalent of mise en place if you're attacking here on Bank. They're going to detonate those Goyo canisters. There's 45 seconds on the clock, and those burn for... How long do they burn for? Escardo, do you have that on hand? And oh wait, 1 second. Oh, okay. Even that confused me. I'm sure finding Louds, his heart palpitations spiked right there. But oh, excellent cooked frag, Jimmer. How did you know he was going to run into the corner? Very, very excellent timing with that bundle of joy that he tossed into the corner. The entirety of CCTV is in flames. It's looking like Boston's round may be going up in flames as they're down 4-2 with 15 seconds on the clock. But the time may play in favor of the defenders, and it's going to. But no, Wywie's last one alive. They have Diffuser in hand. Can the Vector
5 seconds remaining.
be enough to stop them? He generally avoids killing Jimmer, and in comes Triax. Wywie shuts down Triax. It's a 1v3. Wywie shuts down Jimmer. It's a 1v3. The Nitro goes out. Can he collect the Hibana? He can't. It's on to Cayman. Wywie and Cayman, they find each other, but Cayman collects the kill. Calgary takes 2 in a row. They're up 3-2. Very, very close.
Calgary playing it close there. I mean, they kind of played it risky, you know. 4v2, but low time. I think the fact that they were operating in, you know, that small window with only 20 seconds left kind of hurt them. You know, they didn't have a whole lot of time to really set up the right angles, set up everything properly. And so, you know, that's why we saw nearly a comeback, nearly a blown 4v2 there for Calgary. Ultimately, you know, just had the right. They had a 2-man advantage and they had 4 players. You have enough bodies that even if you're running on low time and even if you're not exactly playing properly, you know, they really just gave a bunch of 1v1s there to the remaining players for Boston. But even with that happening, ultimately just had enough manpower and just enough time to stick the plant. And from there, you know, K-Man just did what he needed to do as sort of the hard support there, which is, you know, he doesn't have to frag out every round. He doesn't need to be, you know, getting 10, 15 in a game, but he's winning those key gunfights and he's getting the plant down. He is really doing his, you know, he's doing what he needs to do for Calgary.
So we're going to see a
10 seconds
critical, I mean not too, we're going to see a drastic, sorry that's a much better word, we're going to see a drastic lineup change for the Boston Oathsworn. They've brought Blame Jaeger on Jaeger. They've got Wywie on his classical Wamai with the silencer, I believe that is, which is, I think that's interesting. It did help in the first round. If he killed someone through the hatch in elevator, and because he has a silencer, it doesn't tell you what direction bullets were coming from, so you don't actually know where you're getting shot from. They're going to bring a Solus, and Nornik, he's playing all the way down in the basement. Jimmer gets opening frag. The Yana, he takes out Blame Jaeger. Blame Jaeger and a Nornik have traded being the opening frag numerous rounds in a row. They're going to need to get that in check if they want to have much stronger defenses.
Yeah, I think that's been kind of the Achilles heel here of the Boston defense, is that they keep surrendering this opening frag, which statistics show, if I remember correctly, that the team that ends up, getting the opening death, in this case Boston, oftentimes ends up losing the round. So I think that that's really just harming their efforts here.
Found the Yana on her camera, and there we go. Solus comes into play. I'm 94% sure he's gonna find another one. I'm 94% sure he found Jimmer while he was on his phone camera. And Nornik, he's not the opening frag this time. He gets the return frag, and he just sweeps over Phil with his reticle, and Phil gets the refrag. Now it's 4v3. Boston's playing a bit sloppy on the roam, as every roamer's now gone.
Yeah, I mean, half the round remaining, 2 roamers off the board. They've lost the man advantage. Not the best position to be in, but they could still salvage this round. I mean, they nearly picked up a 2v4 win last round. So, you know, not unwinnable, but definitely not an easy hill to climb. And they certainly have one here. Triax trying to maybe put some pressure on the site right now from that rappel. Hasn't been very successful so far, but certainly is, you know, making sure that they know that he is a presence and is something to worry about here for the Calgary attack. I think that's just the 3 remaining players actually for Boston trying to hold down the line. RJ might be the key player. 50 seconds left. Lowers Williams there, swinging him off of main.
Ooh, Williams, he finds V Louds. He can't get another one. He Can he get Wywee? No, he can't! Wywee refrags onto Williams. It's a 3v2, but Wywee's within an inch of his life. Triax, he's still on that window rappel. How Boston hasn't adapted to take him out through every single attacking round they've been here, I don't know. But Triax has just been given free rein on those windows. I don't know why. Wywee's playing all the way down windows hallway. Can he fry somebody? No. Cayman's going to get the diffuser down behind desk. Someone needs to move in and cover Wywee, because if he moves a few steps further, he is going to dome Cayman. He jumps up, but Triax is ready for him. It's not onto Ragnar with the Vector. There's so many guns trained on him, and there's Triax on those windows. Like I mentioned, literally 20 seconds before it happened, you gotta get Triax off those windows. They failed to, and he's the one man that wins them the round. Calgary's up 4-2.
Yeah, after a shaky start there, Calgary managed to get in the, get in the right mindset, get in the right rhythm, and ended up picking up a couple rounds for themselves, getting themselves in the lead here. Going on to defense, I think that they're a stronger team on defense than they are on attack. We'll have to see if they're able to keep that lead going and finish this game off. But, as you mentioned, I think the key aspect of that round was just Triax sitting on windows and being a threat, really, or at the very least a presence for Calgary, and Boston just not clearing him. I mean, probably should have sent somebody to lobby to just press him off of the windows, but they never did, and so that ended up really costing Boston in the late round when they just couldn't pick up the numbers, or couldn't really win the numbers game.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Yeah, Siege is a game of numbers, and speaking of numbers, we've gone through 6 rounds. That leaves us with 6 remaining, and we're going to see the side swap happen. We just passed halftime, folks. It was not too even. It was a 4-2 split in favor of Calgary after dropping too early. They've led since round number 3. They're going to hope to continue leading until they reach 7. So defense on bank. So are you thinking it's a stronger defense side or a stronger attack side here on bank, Escar?
5 seconds left before insertion.
I mean, if you're asking about if this map favors
Attackers are
attack or
moving out to locate
defense,
a bomb and defuse it.
I think that this map favors the attacking side. That's just me. I mean, you have basement, which basically relies on a team's ability to hold the hatches closed and to keep the attackers from, immediately dropping onto the objective. You have top floor, which is just way too open, in my opinion, and there's so many angles that can be opened up and threatened. And then both of the first floor sites are kind of iffy. I just don't think that this map in its entirety really favors the defending team.
So opening frag comes out, and it's, oh wow, it's, what a surprise. It's on Boston once more. There is a surprise, though. It's not Blame Jaeger, and it's not Inornik. It's Wywee. RJ, top performer for the Oathsworn, taken out early. Big pick for the Calgary Dub Snoozers. They now retain the man advantage. They've gotten the opening pick, I think, 4 or 5 rounds in a row. It's scary.
Yeah, I think that that's a pretty common thread here for Calgary.
Out comes the exothermic from Blame Jaeger. Is there a mute? Is there any denial? No, there's not. They're going to detonate that exothermic charge. They're going to get that wall open. No Goyo. Oh, that one Goyo canister detonated. There's still 2 remaining. So that's going to be a maximum of 1 minute. That's going to be able to be burned by the Dub Snoozers to deny the plant.
Yeah, these Goyo canisters now starting to feature prominently in both teams' defenses, starting to be a pretty good use for just denying an area for a good while, allowing Calgary to sort of collect themselves and set up for the next phase of this plant. Is Blame Jaeger eyeing the plant here, right on the edge of CC, maybe looking to bait out a nitro here. They're trying to get these execute down. I mean, they have a minute left here. I don't know what they're going to exactly do from here. They have the shield set. Blame Jaeger looking for the plant now. Very low here. He's getting banged up courtesy of Calgary, just waiting there, holding these angles and trying to sort of burn out, literally burn out the attacking team of Server using these Goyo canisters that they've set up. Jaeger now very low. He keeps trying for this, but keeps getting hit every single time. Now looking to stick it again here. Grant's going to try and deny it. Sets off, I think, final Goyo canister. I might be wrong. Blame Jaeger is DBNO now. Thank you. And I mean, Cayman taking a bit of damage. He will fall, unfortunately for him, at the hands of, from deep, actually, Clouds. And so, essentially, 2v4 right now. You know, Jaeger and Enornic both down. Now, finally, Rez, but very low time now. Probably some Nitro needing to go out now. Jaeger looking for the plant. Low time. Nitro goes out 3K, and just a cleanup on Isle CC. As that'll be Calgary just wiping out Boston in the final moments.
So we've talked about Goyo usage for these past 2 maps. That's how you use Goyo. 1 entire minute burned with 4 canisters. And at the end of the day, how does Boston not have a single gun 6 left in their repertoire to deal with any of those themselves? Or how does Boston not have, I don't know, anything to stop the abuse that Triax was inflicting from that mirror window? Like, I understand you're low on time, but at some point you realize CC's not going to stop burning. So when do you go around? You need to go around, and they didn't. Adaptation right now is just not there for the Oathsworn. The Dub Snoozers have adapted effectively after a slow start, and Boston needs to do the same, but they haven't so far, and they're paying for it because they're down 5-2.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I mean, just well done there from Calgary in stalling them.
Masterclass.
Really...
And Goyo Masterclass. I'm gonna call it that. That's a Goyo Masterclass.
Oh yeah, I mean, just stalled them excellently, using merely a Mira and all of Goyo's utility.
2 operators. They didn't need anybody else. They just needed those 2, yeah.
Yeah, they just wasted, what, half the round or more? And pretty much they forced Boston's hand into, because Boston didn't have any utility, as you mentioned, to deal with it. They didn't have any frags and Gon 6s, any of that to really clear out those Goyo canisters. They really forced their hand into essentially getting Nitro, you know, getting turned into the newest member of Team Rocket, as I like to joke, you know, getting blasted off again with a couple C4s from the Dub Snusers, and so just needed to go around there, needed to probably pressure Hatch is probably the solution that they should have looked for, but I don't know if they had the utility really for it, and ultimately just didn't really adapt, as you said, excellently put.
Yeah, and then
somehow
the main thing is, how does nobody even play? How's no one playing CC Hatch? Was there no hard breach available? Because again, that just comes down to a fault in your operator utility lineup. If you're playing CC Hatch, that's a completely different setup. You should have Waiwi, but no, Waiwi was the early pick, so losing the Hibana was crucial. But again, there was no backup with a hard breach charge. You couldn't use 1 exothermic on the Hatch. I don't know, that round was just... It was a mess for the Boston side, as Williams gets his 12th frag. This is the play day of big performances. Is he gonna go even bigger? He has the ping. He is gonna go even bigger. He shuts down Ragnar. It's a 5-3 man advantage for the Dub Snoozers.
Williams has been the X factor here for Calgary. I mean, he's got 2 4Ks, picking up rounds. He's at, what, 13 now. He already has a double kill this round.
And numerous
he's getting the
1vxs.
Yes. And a couple of 1vxs, as you mentioned. I mean, he's picking up the rounds, and he's picking up the frags that Calgary really needs to thrive right now. So
picking up the team and putting them in his backpack, because while Phil has 9 kills as well, Williams has really been the star. I'd go as far as crediting 3 rounds to his performance. And Nornik isn't the opening frag for another round. He takes out Jimmer. Jimmer, obviously, he's been Calgary's golden boy this season. He's not the golden boy today. That's Williams. Jimmer falls to 4v2 lead. Waiwi, he takes out Williams. Big pick, 4v2.
Drone active.
You're going to push in through elevator's hallway. Remember, Sight is upstairs. Phil is playing Waiwi's position, and Nornik takes out Phil. The frags have come, the guns have come alive for Boston, but the guns are still alive for the Calgary Dub Snoozers. It's all down to a Nornik. He's got the SC3000K in hand, very powerful gun. Can he take out, I think that's Cayman Hockey with the MK14 EBR playing right next to Stocks. He's waiting for a Nornik to push. Nornik is pushing, but Cayman Hockey, he's got that reticle right ahead level. He's going to swing it at the right time, and he's going to swing in Nornik straight into the grave as Calgary puts themselves on the match point. They're up 6-2. After Boston's hot start, it's been the Calgary show for 5 rounds straight, and it could be the Calgary map as they're about to reach 7.
Calgary is just running right now. They're doing everything that they need to do right now. They're going to go to a site that's pretty tough. They're going to go actually to the one site that we didn't see from Boston. This is their tertiary site, so don't have a whole lot of faith in it, or at least is their belief. So we'll have to see how it goes. But I mean, in terms of their performance these past few rounds, it's just been, I'd say, close to dominant. I mean, they've been getting all the opening picks. They've been getting the kills throughout the round. They've been holding down the line on the objective, which has been the real difference maker. And so they've just really thwarted any efforts here from Boston to try and make an impact.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Boston, I think the theme of this game has been adaptability, and I just don't think we've seen it. I'm going to be straight up. You know, I like to be straight up when it comes to analysis. I don't like to sugarcoat. I'm going to call out teams no matter how much I like them, the people playing on them. Boston's failed to adapt. They haven't adapted in round. They haven't adapted with operator choices. I think they had potential. You know, you can see when a team fails to adapt, because if you could adapt, you'd keep winning the game, if that makes any sense. Because Boston 2-1's on a coincidence. You know, and those weren't exactly super close rounds. Boston seemed like they had Calgary's number. Then, when you face a team like Calgary, you know, if you give them time to adapt, which they did, and now they're up 6-2, you dug your own grave if you can't counter-adapt, which clearly they haven't. Hopefully we're going to see that change. I've been waiting for it for numerous rounds, and it hasn't just yet. And obviously, another thing this game, losing the opening frag. What is it? Since like round 2, it's always going to be an uphill battle. Oh, he gets the opening frag onto Triax. There goes the castle early. Good thing it's one of the operators that doesn't need to do anything after the initial stages of the round.
I think that's the first round maybe the first round since the beginning, or certainly the first round in a while, as you mentioned, where we've seen the opening frag go the way of Boston, actually now brought back to even. An EDD from Phils takes down Louds. Probably not the way that Boston wanted him to go out. Probably wanted him to go down swinging, but instead he goes down walking right into a explosive box of nails. Nordic trying to push forward now, trying to deal with the bevy of defenders up on top square. Does get one frag here onto Williams, maybe looking for a second one, actually accompanied here by Ragnar. They're trying to clear out this top square side of this defense from Calgary. That'll be Phil's getting a kill here. 3v3 situation, half the round remains. And now 2v3 actually, that'll be Ragnar getting the headshot here onto Jimmer. The only side of the round, remove some key utility possibly. Might have been able to get down some of the air jabs or maybe a hologram or two with that, but unfortunately he is picked off there. And now at this point, I mean, you know, Boston is in a prime position to push this map one round longer. 3K from Phils, however, he's going to actually take down Wiley, pardon me, and maybe looking for a fourth here. Really holding on the line. Double kill from Anornik, however, flanks him, gets the key frag, and now Cayman in the hot seat. Map on the line. 1v2 situation, trying to put this away here as the Mira, maybe looking to explore a bit here. Getting off-site, maybe looking for a frag, some sort of angle here up on top square. The spot of many Calgary defenders throughout this round now. And I think Anornik realizing it here, realizing that they need to get on the site immediately. That'd actually be Ragnar taking a good amount of damage. The Vector laying down the law, courtesy of Cayman. And now Ragnar's on site. I think Anornik realizing it, or at least Cayman is. Anornik now looking for the plant, covered by Ragnar. Cayman letting loose some bullets there, trying to potentially stop him. Low time now as they will need to stick it. They do stick it. Cayman trying to push forward here, trying to get a frag. Prone there from Anornik, very quickly shut down by Cayman. 1v1 post-plant situation now. Match on the line here. Cayman gonna swing his admin side, trying to find him. Double kill from Cayman. A defuse, a clutch for Calgary to put it away 7-2.
He gets it! That Another 1vx for the dub Snusers. Ice in the veins for the boys from Calgary. They take the map in dominating fashion, 7-2. Bank is theirs, as that concludes map 2. Escargot. That was an up and down match if I've ever seen one.